Here is part 2 of my cat mask ear tutorial, this time fleecing it. As for supplies, you need a cat mask with bigger ears from my last tutorial, some fleece or felt, but for this tutorial I will be using fleece, some scissors to cut with, and lastly a hot glue gun. First, take your cat mask and lay it on a flat surface. Next, take your fleece and size it so it goes over the entire cat mask. You're going to want to use this side of the fleece and not the rougher side, especially if you're going to paint it. It just ends up being smoother. So lay it over the entire cat mask and make sure there's a little bit on each edge. That way you can wrap it around the edge. This will make a cleaner finish around the edges. First, flip up the bottom portion, keeping the rest of it intact, and put some hot glue on the bridge of the nose and the nose of the mask. Fold it back down and spread the glue outwards away from the nose, using your fingers to kind of stretch the fleece. Next, lift up half the fleece and glue over that entire cheek and snout portion. Place it back down and use your thumbs to wrap it around the back side of the mask while smoothing outwards. This will give it a clean finish. Next, do the exact same thing to the other side, again using your fingers to push the fleece around the mask and kind of stretch it. As you can see here, it got a little bit wrinkled, so you just smooth from the snout away towards the cheek. Once it's smooth, peel back the fleece from the forehead and glue right above the eyebrows, eyes, and forehead section. Then flip up the fleece and make sure to stretch it so that it doesn't create any creases. I like to push in the eyes to make it extra smooth and wrap it all the way around the edges to make sure it's flat. Now for the ears. Put glue on each side of the cardboard, making sure to put a lot of glue on the inside edge. Place the fleece back over it and kind of spread it into the inside of the ear. I like to place my thumbs and kind of go underneath the cardboard. Stretch the fur as you go around the back of the ear, and that should make it nice and tight. After both sides are glued, you're going to cut right down the middle of the ears. Flip it over and start trimming around the edges of the fleece, leaving enough room so that it can go wrap around the back. You don't need that much space, but I like to leave more than less. Once that's done, start gluing around the bottom edge of the mask and stretch the fabric around the mask. I like to point it inwards as I go, and do the same thing with the ears, making sure to stretch the fabric as you push it forward. It's kind of like sliding it across the back of the mask. For the ears, I fold over the top of it so it gets a kind of a smoother finish, overlapping the fabric so it stays down. The glue should hold it in place. Once that's done, it's time to move on to the eyes. Very carefully poke 2 holes with the scissors. Flip it around and cut to each corner of the eye, the inner and the outer corners. Place hot glue all the way around the eyes. Very carefully push your fingers through the front of the mask, putting the fabric onto the hot glue, stretching it as you go. Be very careful doing this part because if your hot glue is too hot, it will burn you, so be very, very careful. And after that, your mask is completed. For those wondering why I left the ears intact instead of cutting them off, cutting them can make a very sharp surface, and I want a tutorial that's safer for younger audiences and older audiences alike. And now your mask should be completed. Let me know what tutorials you'd like next.